All right, so I'm going to show you all how to do basic grid transfer with this image of Sonic here. I'm going to start out with a slow version of it, and then I'm going to speed up the video to show you the whole process. So there are two main things that are important when doing a grid transfer. One is counting, so making sure you have accurate counts as to where things belong, and also where different shapes hit grid lines, because that's going to give you an indication as to where something should be. So I'm going to start out with drawing Sonic's foot here in real time, and then I'll speed up the rest of the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by counting over 2 squares and then up 1, because that's where his foot should start. So I know I'm going to be working in this square here. Now, in order to make sure that I get my measurements correct, I'm just going to make a little mark here to show me where the foot hits the line here, the sole of the shoe. And it actually hits the line over here too, but it kind of goes down and pretty close to the line, but doesn't cross it, and then up over to here, just like that. So that's the first bit of that shape there. Then I'm going to find this outside contour here. So I'm going to come down here and be like, okay, well, where does this hit the line? It hits the line not quite halfway. So if I find the halfway point, which is right about here, and come down just a little bit, I know that's where it hits the line there. But it comes up and over, doesn't go all the way to the line, stops, and this is where his little socks start. So it kind of comes up and in, and then back again there. So now that I've got that exterior contour done, I can come in and start putting some of the details. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring his sock down. So once again, I'm going to look at here and be like, okay, well, this comes down about 1/3 of the way into the box, so that's where that needs to come down like this. And then he's got a stripe on his shoe, and it's kind of in the middle of the box, so it's a little bit more tricky because it doesn't actually hit any lines, but I'm going to use the edge of the shoe as my guide there. And then there's a little bit of that stripe there, and then you've got the sole of his shoe here coming in like this. Alright, so that's the basic shoe there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move to the next square here and continue the shoe like this. And looking at this shape here, it kind of makes a little curve down there, and this is just barely into the square, so I know here I need to change direction and take it down, and this hits just shy of the halfway point here. This is the other foot. And once again, I'm going to find that exterior contour, so I'm going to put this in next. So this comes over about 1/4 of the way. In here. There's this here. And this comes over a little bit less than half. So I've actually brought it down a little bit too far. So that needs to come over right about there. And now that I've got that done, I can start thinking about some of the interior stuff. So we'll do this sock first, because it kind of joins up to this one here. Comes down like this. And I'm trying to practice a little bit of a 3 count in my head, where I look for 3 seconds and then I draw for 3 seconds, so I make sure everything's correct. So this hits the line about halfway across, so that's where I would start that piece of his leg. And the other one comes down here. And then this hits the line up here and comes down like this. What a lot of people will end up doing is they end up covering up what they're not working on, so they don't get overwhelmed by the hole. And that's sometimes a helpful technique. This is the other half of the foot here. All right, so I'm going to speed up the rest of this video.